Hi guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be talking to the one and only KingMojo from Red Army, one of the best, if not the best tank right now in Albion Online, probably one of the best tanks just in general. The guy's a god. He's agreed to do an interview with us. We're going to talk to him, ask him some questions and see what happens. As I always say, this is more of a web show rather than like an actual gameplay thing. There's probably not going to be anything particularly exciting in the background, so I do apologise for that, guys. Other than that, hope you enjoy it and thanks for watching. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Guskey?
Like I said, man, thank you for doing this, agreeing to do the interview with us. It's much appreciated. I'm sure you're quite busy organising and getting things done.
Anytime, dude. It's like with your YouTube channel, I've seen a few videos, and it's like I was watching what you had to say about team comps and a couple other videos, and it's like you know what you're talking about. So I watch your YouTube videos, and now I found out that you stream, so I like what you're doing.
That's cool, man. It's nice to hear. So yeah, we'll jump straight into the questions. The first question I have for you is, how many betas have you played? Like, how long have you been playing Albion?
How many betas? Most of us from Red Army have played since Beta 1. Since the start of Beta 1, so 2 years.
Oh wow, that's a long time. I have to give
How
credit.
long have you played?
I've played literally since about a week and a half into this beta. This is my first beta. I saw the game a couple of years ago. Like being very slowly advertised and stuff like that, but I never saw anything major on it, so just didn't bother with it. But no, fair play to you. Like, I have a real, like, I'm getting burnt out, ready for release now. You guys must be like gagging for it at this point.
Yeah, we've been waiting for about 2 years. There's been a lot of drama, a lot of Albion drama, a lot of guilds breaking up, and then finally it's all coming together. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it's quite nice for you. Is there any specific betas you've like enjoyed more than others? Any moments out of any betas that you really hold like a memory for you?
Yes. So if you ask most people, the people who played Alpha, they'll tell you the Alphas were the most fun. I don't know if it's just because of the nostalgia or whatever, but that's what they'll tell you. For us that started in Beta 1, everyone will tell you who started in Beta 1. Beta 1 was probably the most fun we had. For me, the reason is because these betas, Beta 2, Beta 3, they didn't last that long, right? So they lasted like a couple months. And Beta 1, we really, when we had drama or fights against other guilds, we really played hard for until... Well, first beta started in November, and people started quitting in about March, April. So.
Oh wow! So massive then.
Yeah, so people were going hard for a lot longer. So that was our first beta experience, and then we got to enjoy for a lot longer. So I would say the first beta was the most fun for sure.
Yeah, I do have to say most people that I've like spoken to about this, obviously I've done a couple of other interviews before. It's very much been like first beta, they had it right, they were close, they just had to make some small changes. Beta 2 kind of went off tracks, and they're slowly moving the way back to what it was in this beta. It's kind of just the general sort of oversight I've had from most people about it.
Exactly. So Beta 2, Beta 1 was the closest to release, the closest product they had to release, in my opinion. And then, like you said, a couple changes would have fixed everything, I think. Changes with time zones, the territories, and things like that. But without getting into detail, Beta 2 was just a different game, And then Beta 3 is getting to closer direction, I would say, to be ready for release. And then in release, I don't know what more changes they'll make, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, that's for sure. So, what builds is it you've played with? Obviously, you've played for a long time, so I'm not expecting like you to list them all. But what's like your favourite builds? The ones again, like the obviously beta question. What is it that holds your memory when it comes to builds?
Well, to be honest, like, I'm the wrong person to ask this because I'm like one of the least um, versatile players that you'll speak with. So, for example, in our team we have Derek, and Derek's played in beta one. He's played crossbow. In beta two, he's played crossbow, warbow, dual swords. He's played, he's tried tank and whatever. And in this beta, he's playing bruiser. So he's probably the most versatile player on the team. For me, I've just always played tank. I've literally always played tank. So I played in beta one. I played quarterstaff, like heavy glacial and heavy curse. I've always played heavy. So the most fun weapon that I've had is that I played with was quarterstaff, or the ironclad in this case. The ironclad is super, super fun. So I hope they make that GVG viable again, because it was, a lot of people will tell you it was one of the most fun weapons to play with for sure.
Fair enough. It's not actually one I've heard about too much, but there's a respect to someone who's pretty set in his role, that's rather master one than be sort of the jack of all trades, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I played like I've played. I know my limits, dude. So I played range DPS once against Chicken Kiss in Beta One. I played longbow, and I went in there with the longbow, and I got dunked, and I lost my team the GVG against Chicken Kiss. So for me, I just stuck. I retired the longbow. I brought back my tank, and I just stick to what I'm good at.
Yeah, that's fair enough. There's a respect in that. Like, you gotta stick to what you're good at, don't you? You don't risk it. No, that's fair enough. I have to say, you are someone that I have watched quite religiously doing just godlike engages. Obviously, I quite often am in the Albion stream, and Red Army are quite a common feature on that. And you are, like I said it in the intro, you are probably, if not the strongest and most represented tank in game. Like, I don't know of any other sort of big names that really come to mind when it comes to tanks. To be honest, you really are someone that's got it down to a T.
Uh, I appreciate that, first of all. For other tanks, yeah, there's not, to be honest, I have to agree with you. There's not that many that have impressed me either. I think Dark Mito is pretty good from Chicken Kiss. Salute to Dark Mito. I think Shinnok was good from the Brazilian Envy team. Salute to him too. And then I'm trying to think about Lugsy, but he played Arcane this beta, so I can't really. I know he's a great tank. He just didn't play tank this beta. So, I mean, like, yeah, I have to agree with you. It's not that many.
Yeah, it's definitely. I've said it before, and I will say it again. I do genuinely believe tank has to be one of the hardest roles to play in this game, because you hold such a decisive role in the team. You can literally change the space of a fight in one single snare charge, in one single like hammer, or any of these things can completely change the direction of a fight, and that is something that it's got to be pretty hard to hold in like your repertoire, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like people think it's easy because tank you can walk in there and take a lot of damage and not get punished for it. But the thing is, it's like if you're playing tank, you need to make up for. You need to think about. You need to make up for uh, a DPS on your team. So you're doing no damage, but you have these cooldowns that, whether it's a silence and a purge, or you have a root, and the way you use those cooldowns um, uh, are gonna I don't know how to explain it, but basically, if you use those wrong, then you're gonna lose your team to GVG, because you might as well just put instead of the tank, another DPS and just do more damage and try to win that way. Or if you have a tank that actually uses their cooldowns right, then you can give up a DPS for that position any day, because that tank will secure you a kill, like you said, or maybe they'll save one of your players at one point. So people think it's easy, and it is from a mechanical perspective. I have not really good mechanics, so I don't play range DPS. I leave that for Derek and other, those type of players. So for me, I just, back to what I said before, I just stick to what I'm good at, and I
Yeah,
just,
fair enough.
yeah.
So out of all these obviously tank weapons that you've mentioned before, is there anything? Obviously, you said Ironclad before. Would you hold that as like your favorite weapon? Is there a reason like why that just hold like what's your favorite weapon and what's the reasoning for that?
Well, my favorite weapon now is the heavy mace, of course. Uh, if they made Ironclad viable again, it would be super great. But the problem with the Ironclad is it's a CC machine, right? So it can interrupt everything. The problem with the Beta 2 and Beta 3, they made more and more spells that are instant. So for example, what is there to interrupt? So if you're fighting a Claren Blade, they 3-stack and then they E, and you can't interrupt it as Ironclad. If there's a Carrion Caller, it's all instant damage, heavy smash, and then he has the Raven.
Yeah, it's
That's you
very
can't
true.
interrupt.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's not many spells to interrupt anymore. So that's where we saw Ironclad not being used anymore. So heavy mace for me right now is the best. Um, yeah, for sure.
All right. So obviously Albion's getting to a point now with release. Obviously, it's less than a month now. What's your favourite and least favourite features of Albion? Is there anything that you go, yeah, I really like this, I'm glad they've done this? And is there anything, again, in a similar taste that you go, do you know what, this change was really something that I don't like, or anything like that?
At this point, when I logged on, and after a long break from Beta 1, I logged on to Beta 2. I log into Beta 2. After I saw that, nothing's gonna surprise me anymore. So every change, every change since then is not surprising at all. For me, it's if it's in the wrong direction, I'm like, it's another one. If there's one in the right direction, I'm pretty excited about it. Unfortunately, there's not that many I've been excited about because it's like all the content that they're bringing in is pretty much old content, but they're just reintroducing it. So, for example, they brought back I don't know if you know that what's her name, the Earth Mother, the new raid with the giants.
Oh yeah, the Yellow Zone War Boss, Iris Mon.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one they put it in the yellow zones, and they reintroduced it. It used to be here last beta and then beta 1 also. So it's like they're re-adding stuff that was taken out before. So there's not that much exciting stuff. The black market, I don't care about the black market at all. So yeah, I mean the portal system is pretty cool. It's not really. I can't really think about anything. I don't know. Let me ask you that. To be honest, you're more informed about this than I am. Like, is there anything that you enjoyed about the new changes?
So, from a content creator's point of view, the Yellow Zone Hellgates was something I think implemented badly, however, had a right idea. Like, it was something that I could jump into risk-free, and, like, I could jump in. I did a stream a couple of days ago, and anyone on the stream, I just pulled into a group, we went and did Yellow Zone Hellgates. We didn't care about the rewards. We literally did them for a laugh, and that was something that I think if you took the rewards away and just made it like a testing ground, that could be a really cool idea. And obviously that was something for me that I was a big fan of. I don't like the fact now that I don't like the disparity between red and yellow Hellgates. Obviously, the last fight I believe I had in a Hellgate was actually you guys. And obviously that was, at least a week or so ago now, at least, like, maybe even longer.
We had 7.2 versus 7.2 fight against Umbra, or was that?
I think no, it's when you were running 8-1 and I think we were running either 7-1, 7-2, and
Gotcha.
you rushed us on the boss.
Gotcha.
I think that was the last fight I've actually had in a Hellgate, in a Red Zone Hellgate, so that was ages ago. So I just don't like the disparity at the moment between yellow and red. I don't like the fact that I can't go to red when I've got that urge just to go and actually have some good PvP, some competitive PvP. Because realistically, I did 10 the other night and got no fights. Like, we went in them earlier just to fame farm. And that's something to me that obviously they are aware of it, and they've already talked about fixes for it, so I'm hoping it goes in the right direction.
Yeah, the It's like with Hellgates, I heard the yellow zone ones. Like I completely forgot about it. It's good that you brought it up. It's like the yellow zone Hellgates. Someone told me that they find a fight there every single time. And with the red zone Hellgates, apparently you're not fighting any fights.
So I did a test in the yellow zone gates, of which I did 50. And this was on the test server, so this was on a more of a dead realm. And I've done something similar with 20 on the live server. And we were getting over a 90% fight rate.
In the yellow zone,
in yellow zone, 90.
I mean, 90%.
Yeah. Literally, we had one free gate every now and again. We had like in the 50, I believe we had like 2.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that obviously, that for us was just insane. We got so many runes, so many artifacts. So you weren't getting hell artifacts, but at that point we didn't care. We sold all the artifacts, crafted them up, and then bought the hell artifacts.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you might be playing at Australian times because you're Australian, right? I'm just fucking with you.
Not quite. Opposite, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but
I know.
It's like,
yeah, it's. I like the idea of them, and I like the fights that we were getting. The fact that we can have so many fights is just fantastic. It's really cool. However, the fact that we can't then go into the red zones. Yeah, the fact we can't go into the red zones and actually have a really competitive fight. Obviously, we fought you sometimes. We've had so many fights against people like Tetrafy, in like the older Hellgates, where it was competitive, it was fun, and it was risky. So you played your best, and if you misplayed once or twice, that could make the difference. If you misplay in a yellow zone, you go, oh well, we'll go into the next zone, and there'll be another one.
Yeah, I mean that's a fact. Like with guilds like Umbral and Tetrafy, they're brand new guilds. This beta, right? Or is Tetrafy an old guild? I'm not sure.
I believe Tetrafy has been fairly together for at least one beta, if not 2.
Gotcha.
Umbral, I believe, have maybe played 1 beta before this, but I don't think they're a long-term established guild. I'll say, obviously, I'm fairly new to the Umbral team myself.
Okay. Yeah, like the thing is, it's ridiculous because if you run into a red zone Hellgate, you'll find teams like Umbral and Tetrafy with good gear. Like we ran Hellgates in 8.1, and we're not running 8.1 Hellgates just because we want easy fights. Like we actually thought that if we go 8.1 in Hellgates, that we'll find other teams in 8.1. And it's the end of the beta, so I would like for people to bring their good stuff into Hellgates at this point, or it's just gonna get wiped, and they're not gonna use it anyway. So, unfortunately, a lot of other guilds don't think like that. So we went into Red Zone Hellgates, and the only people who were running the same tier gear are people like Umbrella and Tetrafy, and there's no excuse for that because Umbrella is a pretty new guild, I would say. So where's the for example, where like who's a pretty experienced?
You obviously you have other guilds.
Where's Envy and where's Envy and where's those guilds that are full of 8.1 and 7.2 who are not coming into Hellgates with really good gear?
Yeah, I mean, we had some good fights. Obviously, we had a lot of good fights in the older Hellgates, and that was something that, as a guild, was great experience for us. We were quite a strong team. We came onto the scene quite strong, and obviously that helped us build up wealth enough that we could come in and be in an 8-1 and not really... We had a higher success rate than loss rate, so we could sustain it. But yeah, you are right in that, in fairness, we never really came reliably against teams that were running that sort of gear. Typically, obviously, 6-1 pushing to 7-1 towards Hector being released was the meta and was the consistent sort of standard for gear. And
right.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. It's a beta. Most people should just go, it's a beta, who cares? Let's just waste the gear. And I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, with release around the corner, people are just going to have that mentality where they just don't care anymore, and hopefully we'll start getting some fun fights.
Yeah, it's like if you go into Hellgates with even 6-1, like, or if you go in 6-1, you fight a team who's in 7-1 or 6-2, you have the opportunity to upgrade your gear. Like there's a chance that you could win that fight. And if you're running Hellgates in 6.2, 7.1, there's a chance you can win 8.1 gear. So like I know for my team, we would never complain about running into a higher tier Hellgate team because you have the opportunity to get better gear.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've lost to 6-1 teams while in 7-1, and I've beat 8-1 teams in 6-1. Like
Exactly.
and both of them are situations that actually could realistically keep happening. If you meet a complete counter comp, but you have lower gear, then you're on a fair fight. Like there is a good chance that you're still going to win that fight.
Oh, for sure. Like
Yeah.
the other day we were doing a GVG. I think I was talking to you in the stream chat against not Zorn. It was against Gentlemen. We were fighting Gentlemen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then after the GVG, we ran into a Hellgate in our 8.2 gear, and we found a team in 6.2, which was Hammer and Sickle, and they had the icicle staff and a range comp, and they were kiting back. And we were close to dying a couple of times fighting them. It was like a pretty close fight. And they were 2 tiers behind. Plus, we had masteries and stuff like that. So
exactly, like
it can happen.
Yeah, and if on the one time that they decide that they're going to upgrade that gear and really go for it and put the effort in and maybe raise it to 7-2, that fight could have easily swung their way.
Exactly.
And that's what people need to sort of realise. And I'm hoping that comes when there's more reward for doing the Hellgates. There'll be a little bit more reason to risk things, and I'm hoping that it's something that gets fixed. It's something that I think they are well aware of and working on currently.
Agreed.
But anyway, moving on with the questions. Obviously, release is around the corner. Like I said earlier, we've literally got less than a month left. Is there anything now that you're working out towards sort of a release plan? Have you got teams set out to know what you're doing? Or is this something you're pretty experienced with? Like I said, you guys have come through, 3 betas now? You must be pretty experienced when it comes to releases.
To be honest, like Red Army is pretty shit at the start. We're pretty bad at the start. For some reason, we just keep getting lucky at the beginning, and we keep getting the territory early. But to be honest, we don't deserve it because our starts are really bad. And then we also have a tendency to lose a lot of GVGs in the beginning because we're slow at starting up, just in the meta and things like that. But I think release we will do much better with that. I think so, because that's one of my goals is really to improve our start, because it's been pretty hectic in the past betas.
Yeah, I can imagine. Obviously, a very, very big guild. I can imagine that gets very, very hectic and quite disorganized very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one goal. And then we're just figuring out alliance and things like that, because there's going to be an interesting like Game of Thrones situation going on in on release. Like you probably don't know about it, or maybe you do, but if you want the sneak peek, basically War Legend, Nilfgaard, Envy, Zorn, Say My Name, Honor and Glory will come back and work with them also. They will all form a big non-aggression pact, unofficial alliance. And so that's going to be very, very tough to deal with. So we got a lot of work to do to fight that big group.
Yeah, you guys are definitely the team to beat, so to speak, right now. So definitely could be interesting to see what happens on launch with people trying to counter that and sort of actually work together to try and keep you down, sort of thing. But yeah, it'd definitely be very interesting.
We would lose. We're going to lose a lot on release. We're really going to lose a lot. But for us, it's okay, because like, first of all, you have to lose to win. That's for sure one of our rules. You have to lose to win. A lot of teams, they don't know how to take a loss, and a lot of teams don't know how to adapt from a loss. So, for example, we fought Echo Silence for a long time at the beginning of this beta, and they had a pretty decent composition. So, to break it down for you, they had a one-handed crossbow, arcane, they had a mace, and they had a bloodletter. Okay. So what they would do is they would beam the crossbow would shoot his bomb, he would get someone low, and then the bloodletter would finish.
Yeah,
So
pretty wombo combo. Yeah, it's
wombo combo, yeah.
very similar to what I was playing with with one-handed curse. But go for the big burst with the bloodletter to finish.
Right. So the combo, it made sense. And once we beat them, they tried again, and then after that they tried to switch to our composition, and then all the Echo Silence teams ran our composition, and we just didn't understand why, because they weren't good at our composition. They were good at the one before. So if they would have improved that, they might have been able to beat us. So it just depends what you do after a loss. So I think our team has enough experience to where if we take a few losses, we'll make the right changes and we can actually end up like winning, because we all love the game. And I know a lot of these guilds just want to come into this game and they're burnt out already. So they just want to make it look like they win for their image and go into the next game with a strong image or something like this. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from with that. I know a lot of guilds like right now. Obviously, I'm in a very similar position personally, that I'm looking at the game and going, right, it's really close to release. I kind of just want it there so I can actually work on something more permanent. I'm obviously really looking forward to release, and I know a lot of guilds have that sort of mentality, so it's a bit of a hard time period to judge. It will certainly be very interesting come launch just to see what happens. And like I said, all of the old guilds back, because when I joined, obviously you and Echo of Silence had a big thing. Niflgaard and Envy were trying to take the same sort of territories.
Yeah.
I can't say that name properly. But yeah, like all of these guys had these massive big wars between them, and that's what makes a sandbox, in my opinion. When you can literally see guilds and alliances and armies fighting, that gives it a real sort of personality, so to speak.
Well, yeah, it needs to be personal. You know, it needs
Yeah,
to be
definitely.
like what we call it beef. It needs to be beef.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'll be good. So yeah, is there anything? So last question: is there anything that you'd like to see changed, added? Anything that you would like to see changed before release? Is there anything that's really worrying you that goes like, okay, if this happens, then I'm going to struggle, or not you personally, but like this happens, I'm not going to be too happy.
Mm, I don't think they can do anything to this game to actually make me uninstall this game and just stop playing. Like I said before, there's not that many good changes, but I think we're fine if we go into the release with this game like this, and as long as they fix the couple issues that where the ideas are good but the execution is bad. You know, like you mentioned the yellow zone Hellgates, right? You think the idea is good, but the execution it's executed poorly. Correct?
Yeah, correctly, yeah.
Yeah. So if they make those little changes, maybe they give us a few more GVG maps, because I'm really bored of fighting on the same GVG map.
Yeah, I can understand that. What are you guys at now? Over 200 GVGs as the A team?
Oh yeah, we had a shitload of GVGs this beta. We had definitely the most GVGs. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any team that takes that off you so far.
Yeah, I mean, experience is everything in this game. So it's like we got to fight everybody. We had to fight. We had to fight Zorn. We had to fight. Today we had to fight the Abyss. So that's another one on the list. We fought Gentleman, Nilfgaard, Envy, Echo Silence, Chicken Kiss, and I don't know if we're missing any strong GG teams that we didn't get to fight, but I think we did all right this beta.
Yeah, like I said, you guys are definitely the team to beat come right now, and with release coming so soon, I can't imagine anyone taking that throne off you. So it'll be nice seeing you go into release and hold your throne, basically. Obviously, you'll have a lot to prove when every team comes back and they're gunning for you guys if you're the team to beat.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure, it's gonna be fun.
Oh, it's gonna be good. So anyway, we've been talking for a long time. I appreciate you being here and talking to us. It's much appreciated. Is there anyone you want to like shout out to, or anything you want to say just before the end? Any like Twitch or YouTube channels that you've got that as a guild maybe?
Well, shout out to you first of all for bringing me here. Thank you so much. Everybody go watch Guskey TV. Is it Guskey TV? Your Twitch?
Guskey YouTube and just Guskey Twitch. Yeah.
Yes, and then salute to my team. Salute to every team that fought us this beta and made it fun for us. Salute to everybody in Red Army and who you know, really helped us and made us be able to compete against all these other guilds. And it was super, super, super fun, this beta. And then shout out to all the guilds who are coming back for release. And then salute to everybody listening to this. That's it.
All right, man. Well, like I said, thank you for being here. And yeah, so we'll wrap up the video now. Guys, thank you for being here. Again, thank you for watching as well. It's been a damn long video. I was not expecting it to be this long. My room is currently at a solid 32 degrees. I'm absolutely sweltering. Just one quick announcement to make to the channel. At 900 subscribers, I was going to do this, but I think this video is actually going to take us over. We've been sponsored with a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, if we do it before launch, we're going to be doing a gold giveaway for release. You'll get the gold at release, or you'll get the gold now, with the gold obviously then carrying over to release. I'll leave the numbers out for now, but yeah, guys, push us to 1,000 subs, and yeah, there's going to be a giveaway. I'll do a whole video on it very soon to come, so keep an eye out for that. Other than that, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and catch you later, guys. Goodbye.
Peace.